Okay, ratio again, continuing the ratio series, ratio and proportion. Actually, today we're doing proportion. This is the final video in the ratio and proportion series. Don't forget, ratio and proportion is the second hardest topic in the Maths 11 Plus. So again, concentration is needed here. So let's move on to the whiteboard. Okay, so let's discuss first what is proportion. So what is ratio? If you remember, it's comparing part with part. So if you have a box with 4 squares, how many grey squares compared to how many white squares? There's 3 grey squares to 1 white. Proportion is different. It's comparing part with total. So how many grey squares are there with the total? Okay, and you can write that. One way of writing that is to say 3 grey squares out of a total 4. So 3 out of 4. Which is what they've done there. How many white squares are there? White, you'd say 1 out of 4. Okay. So it's important to know what is the difference between ratio and proportion. Ratio compares part with part. So grey with white. But proportion is comparing part with total. Or part of the whole, yeah? Part with total, yeah? Part with total. So grey with the total, okay, or white the total, okay. So whenever you see a total being mentioned, then you've got to know it's going to be a proportion question. And when you have 2 parts mentioned, like black and white, or pounds and dollars, or soup and flour, or dog food to dog days, or cake grams, sugar grams for 1 person to 20 people, those are all ratios. Okay, so we're going to be doing proportion today, which is comparing part with total. Now, how do you calculate proportion? Best way to show it with an example. Okay, I'll do it slightly different from the book. So so just this is slightly different, and we'll probably change it into the next edition. I'll get the publisher to change it. So let's say, let's give an example. This example, share £20 between Max and Jane, a ratio of 2 to 3. So Max and Jane, okay, and you share £20 between Max and Jane in a ratio of 2 to 3. So you've got a total which is £20, and you'll share it between Max and Jane. For every £2 Max gets, Jane gets £3. Okay, so how do we do this? Well, I want you to remember this. ADM. ADM. A stands for add, D stands for divide, M stands for multiply. ADM. Those are the 3 steps. Okay, so just remember those 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. ADM. Okay. Okay, so we are sharing, don't forget, we're sharing £20 in the ratios of 2 to 3. For every for that £20, we're going to give £2 to Max. For every £3 we give to Jane. So what are 3 steps? Add, divide, multiply. So let's go for the first one. Right, first of all, we add up the ratios. That's the first step. So the ratios are 2 and 3. So 2 add 3 equals 5. So you add up the ratios. I'll put here, add up ratios. That's the first step, add up the ratios. Second is you divide. You divide the total by answer to number 1. Okay. Okay, answer 1. Okay, so that means you divide 20 was the total divided by 5, because you get that answer from 5, yeah, from here, yeah. 20 divided by 5 is 4. Okay, 20 divided by 5 is 4. So notice each time we're using the answers. Okay, so we're using this answer here, and this answer is here. So 20 divided by 5. So add up the ratios. 2 add 3. 2 add 3. The ratios are 2 and 3 is 5. Divide the total. 20 by the answer 1, which is 5. 20 divided by 5 is 4. The last one is multiply. Do you multiply your answer to each ratio? So you multiply everything by 4. You get that 4 from here. So you multiply each ratio by 4. So you times this by 4 and this by 4. So 2 times 4 is 8 and 3 times 4 is 12. Okay. Let me just put a different colour so it makes it slightly easier. 2 times 4 is 8, and 3 times 4 is 12. So Max gets £8 and Jane gets £12. And how do we know I got the right answer? Because if you add them together, 8 add 12, you get 20, the original amount that you're supposed to share. Okay, great. So let's do another example, which takes a bit of time to move. So let's type this example here. Okay, share £45 between Max and Jane in the ratio of let's do 5 to 4. Okay. Okay, share. So how do we know it's a proportion question? Because you've got a total, and you have to share it between Max and Jane in a ratio of 5 to 4. So we have a total, which is here, total, and these are ratios. Okay, so Max to Jane is 5 to 4. Okay, so ADM is the 3 steps: add, divide, multiply. Okay, multiply. Okay. First of all, we added the ratios. So 5 add 4 equals 9. Okay, so we're going to use that 9, so I'll put it in a different colour. And then we divide the total, which in this case 45, by 9. Yeah, which equals 45 divided by 9 is 5. Again, we're going to use that. And then we're going to multiply this 5 to each of the ratios. So this one here, times 5 times 5. Remember, we get that ratio from here. Okay, we're using it there. So 5 times 5 is 25. 4 times 5 is 20. So how much does Max get? Max gets £25. And Jane gets 20. Okay, and how do we know the right answer? Because 25 add 20 equals 45, which is the same answer here, 45. So 45, okay. Okay, just one other quick tip. Add, divide, multiply. To help you memorize this, think of Anna drives Mercedes. Anna, or drives motorbike. Anna drives motorbike. Yeah. ADM. So let's write that here so you don't forget. ADM. Different color. ADM, and then here Anna drives motorbike. Okay, Anna drives motorbike. Okay, and so this should be M, yeah. This should be okay. Anna drives motorbike. So just remember that 3 steps. Anna drives motorbike. Add up the ratios, divide the total by the total ratios, and then multiply. And that's it. We'll see you in the next video series.